If I told you this middle-aged man was a YouTube sensation, you might hesitate to believe me. But Dr. Jordan B. Peterson is more than just a YouTube sensation. He's a YouTube genius. And there are 3 reasons why. It's important to note that analyzing Dr. Peterson's YouTube success provides a special level of difficulty because it was not the traditional route to YouTube success. Most YouTubers have a channel, they post videos, they blow up. In these cases, it's easier to identify the exact triggers and strategies that were responsible for spikes in growth, and I can more easily use key metrics such as watch time, views, average view duration, in order to clearly identify why and how they blew up. With Dr. Peterson, however, most of his YouTube fame came from videos that were not posted by him. This introduces a special dynamic, and it's what has made this video the hardest I've ever done. The number one strategy that Dr. Peterson used is he followed the uClarity try formula. Pay very close attention because what I'm about to show you is the gold standard of how to make your message razor sharp and how you can stand out in such a noisy world on YouTube. The uClarity try formula consists of 3 very simple things. 1. Find out who your audience is. 2. Find out what they crave. And 3. Give it to them. Dr. Peterson already had some content out there on YouTube. His first step is to precisely figure out who his audience is.
More than 90% of the people who watch my videos on YouTube are men. Now that's weird because about 80% of psychology students are women. So that is not what you would expect, right? You would expect that the majority of them would be women. And then what's interesting now is that every public appearance that I've made that's related to the sort of topics that we're discussing is overwhelmingly men. It's like 85 to 90%. And so I thought, wow, that's weird. Like, what the hell's going on here exactly?
He made the first monumental observation. Majority of his viewers are young men. He confirmed this through his YouTube analytics and his observation during his talks. This may seem obvious in hindsight, but Peterson thought it was strange because the majority of psychology students are female, and so he didn't think the ratio would be that skewed. It doesn't matter whether Dr. Peterson is consciously filling out this try formula or not in his own head. It's still one of the primary reasons for his success because it's what he actually did. Okay, next step. He needs to figure out what this audience craves deeply.
Responsibility. That's what gives life meaning. Pick something up and carry it. Make it heavy enough so that you can think, yeah, well, useless as I am, at least I could move that from there to there. Well, what's really cool about that is that when I talk to these crowds about this, the men's eyes light up. Young men are so hungry for that, it is unbelievable.
His conclusion from what he observed is that young men today crave the story of taking personal responsibility for their life and venturing into the unknown. He reassures young men that life can be meaningful if you adopt responsibilities instead of gaming and wasting life away. Now, the final step is to give it to them. And he has. He gives this to them in the form of videos, programs, books. All of this content revolves around this formula, and it's why Dr. Peterson is so successful. He has a laser-targeted focus on who he's speaking to, and with that comes the ability to craft a razor-sharp message. It takes time to develop this insight, but once such a razor-sharp message to a laser-targeted audience is developed, the growth is explosive. The takeaway here is that any successful YouTube channel must make content for one specific audience. Follow the formula, fill it out for your own channel, and watch as the YouTube algorithm explodes your content. The second strategy Dr. Peterson did is not back down from his views. Dr. Peterson is famous for getting into altercations for disagreements on political subjects such as left versus right, feminism, and more. Dr. Peterson never backs down from these confrontations. Coincidentally, the position he takes in these arguments is also the exact same position his average viewer would take. This is extremely important to his success because there's a congruency there. The same audience we just talked about in the try formula that he makes content for, he also argues for in a political discourse. Whether he does this on purpose or not is irrelevant. The point is that it makes this audience extremely captivated by Dr. Peterson. Essentially, he wins them over as long-term fans. Not only is he arguing for them and not willing to compromise on his stance, he creates content that addresses one of their deepest cravings. This level of laser-targeted audience can be achieved for any demographic in any industry. It just requires nuanced reflection. The third Dr. Peterson strategy is YouTube video characteristics leading to high view duration. Dr. Peterson understands that his audience is not attracted to short videos. His audience are not made up of young kids that need a constant pattern interrupt to keep them engaged. Therefore, it would be foolish to create videos for them in this way, despite it currently being what's popular on YouTube. Instead, his most popular videos on his YouTube channel are slow and long. Posting videos 2 hours long would go against every YouTube guru's advice. But the real answer is that a channel's videos only need to make sense for their audience in order to be successful. Additionally, by creating videos this long, the average watch time is going to surpass almost any competition. It's common knowledge that watch time is one of the most important YouTube metrics for the YouTube algorithm, the other one being CTR. The common way YouTubers use this information is by posting videos over 10 minutes long with a very clickable thumbnail and title. This gives the videos great watch time metrics and a high CTR. This is the recipe for doing well in the YouTube algorithm and the algorithm pushing out your videos. Dr. Peterson doesn't care about this. For example, let's take his most viewed video on his channel, 2 hours, 38 minutes long. And let's pit this video against some competition that I just found on my homepage. Let's try determining their total watch time to see how they rank up. For the purposes of this calculation, I'm going to use an average watch duration of about 55%. That seems reasonable enough for me, and this website says it analyzed 56,000 channels to come up with this conclusion. I'm going to convert the times to minutes and percentages to decimals to make stuff easier. You can pause this video at any time to check out how I got to these numbers. Dr. Peterson's video comes out to 12 million total hours of watch time. For this one, we have 500,000 hours. This last one, since it's only 36 seconds long, it's unrealistic for us to assume the average view duration is 55%. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it the benefit of a doubt and assume 100%. And that comes to about 51,000 hours. From these numbers, we can see just how dramatic the watch time differences are for Dr. Peterson's longer videos. It makes sense since the video is the length of a movie. The result is that these videos now have a substantial leg above their competition when the YouTube algorithm is determining what to suggest. This undoubtedly factored into Dr. Peterson's YouTube success. But don't think that longer videos are always better. The point I'm making here is that it's about knowing your audience and creating videos specifically for them. If you're going to make a 2-hour slow-paced video for a target audience of kids, good luck getting any retention whatsoever. Instead of thinking about how to structure your videos first, think about what your audience wants first. Then, create videos with that as your guiding principle. Thanks for watching this uClarity video. Guys, if you don't watch another uClarity video, then the next hot dog you're going to eat is going to have too much mustard on it. I honestly wouldn't risk it. And also, you will stub your toe tonight if you don't watch another uClarity video. Wouldn't risk that either.